Halloween is supposed to be fun, but sometimes the scares aren't in costumes. These 6 true Halloween nightmares prove that terror doesn't need imagination. It just walks right up to your door. Imagine opening your door at midnight on Halloween and finding a child in a ghost costume that doesn't breathe, doesn't move, and leaves behind a Polaroid of you sleeping. It was nearly midnight when Evan heard the doorbell. Halloween night had finally quieted down, and he had already blown out the pumpkin on his porch, so the chimes startled him. Through the peephole stood a single child, short, thin, wearing a cheap bedsheet ghost costume with 2 uneven eye holes. Evan opened the door halfway. "Sorry, kid, I'm out of candy." The child didn't move, didn't speak, didn't breathe. Evan felt uncomfortable, but before he could say another word, the child slowly raised a small plastic pumpkin bucket. It wasn't orange, it was dark brown, dried brown. Evan stepped back. "Okay, joke's over." The child tilted its head sharply, as if bones snapped inside. Then it lifted the sheet, just enough for Evan to see pale, mud-covered feet and ankles chained tightly together. Evan slammed the door, grabbed his phone, and called 911. But when police arrived, the porch was empty, except for the brown bucket. Inside was a single Polaroid, a photo of Evan taken earlier that night, from inside his living room window. The next morning, Evan checked his camera footage. From 8 p.m. to midnight, everything looked normal. Kids, neighbors, the usual. But when the ghost child should have appeared, the cameras cut out for exactly 47 seconds. And at the end of the footage, right after the cameras flickered back on, Evan could be seen standing inside, frozen, staring directly at the lens, smiling. He doesn't remember doing that. He didn't go near the camera that night. And worst of all, he woke up to a fresh Polaroid on his bedroom dresser. This one was taken while he slept. There's a house in every neighborhood that gives out the best candy, but nobody lives there. This year, someone took more than one, and the house finally took something back. Every Halloween, kids in Ridgewood whispered about the old Calder house at the end of Willow Drive. No decorations, no lights. Yet every year, without fail, a single bowl sat on its porch with a handwritten sign. Take one, only one. The candy inside, real chocolate bars, full-sized, brand name, expensive. Parents loved it. Kids loved it. But no one had lived there for 30 years. Liam and his friend Jordan decided they'd take more than one that year, just to say they did. They waited until the street emptied, ran up the driveway, and started stuffing their bags. The second Liam touched the bowl, the porch light, dead for decades, flicked on. The front door creaked open. A voice from inside whispered, calm and polite. Only one. The boys froze. Jordan muttered, "It's just some old speaker prank." But the voice repeated, louder, sharper. "Only one." Footsteps approached the doorway. Liam bolted, sprinting down the street without looking back. Jordan stayed long enough to see a pale hand slide around the doorframe. Thin fingers, long, wrong. Jordan never made it home. Witnesses say they heard him screaming, but no one saw where he went. The next morning, police found one thing on the Calder porch: Jordan's bag of candy neatly placed next to the bowl, and beside it, a new sign appeared. He took too many. The bowl, however, was filled again, perfectly restocked, ready for the next Halloween. Neighbors swore the house looked a little cleaner afterward, like something had been fed. A scarecrow in the middle of a quiet farm shouldn't whisper, and it definitely shouldn't walk off its pole or ask you to stay forever. Halloween Eve was always busy at the Miller farm. Families came for pumpkin picking, hay rides, photos with the giant scarecrow standing in the center of the field. It had been there for generations, stitched burlap face, straw-stuffed body, nailed to a tall wooden pole. At sunset, Mia, a teenage worker, stayed late to close up. While collecting stray pumpkins, she heard something faint, like wind slipping through cracked wood, whispering, coming from the scarecrow. She froze. Another whisper drifted across the field, clearer this time. "Stay." Mia shook it off. Probably the wind. She kept working. But when she looked up, the scarecrow's head seemed tilted toward her. It hadn't been like that earlier. She walked back to the shed. Something rustled behind her, heavy, dragging. When she turned, the scarecrow's arms hung lower, straw spilling out as if it had stepped off the pole. But the pole was still there, empty. Mia ran. The field felt endless. Cornstalk shuddered violently as something moved between the rows following her, whispering louder now. "Stay with me. Stay forever." She dove into the barn and slammed the door. Silence. Then, footsteps on dry straw, slow, crunching, right outside. Farmers found her the next morning sitting in the barn corner, rocking, shaking, unable to speak. When they checked the field, the scarecrow was back on its pole, but its head was turned completely around, stitched smile wide and split, and its straw-stuffed chest bulged unnaturally, like something was filling it from the inside. They never found Mia's voice again, but every Halloween night, visitors swear they hear a girl whispering from the scarecrow, "Stay." A Halloween store received a mask with no tags, no barcode, and when you looked at its reflection, it blinked. The store cameras later showed something wearing it, something that looked like her. Nora worked at a Halloween pop-up store. Cheap costumes, plastic props, rubber masks hanging wall to wall. 2 nights before Halloween, the store received an unboxed mask in the shipment. No barcode, no label. It was porcelain white with hollow eye sockets and a wide, unsettling smile carved too deep into the cheeks. Her manager joked, "Creepy, but someone will buy it." No one did. That night, while closing the shop, Nora heard soft tapping from the mask aisle. Tap, tap, tap. She rounded the corner. Every mask hung still, except the white one. It swung gently on its hook. She reached up to stop it, and the mask's reflection in her phone screen blinked. Nora staggered back, dropping her keys. The store lights flickered. The mask fell from its hook and landed face up, smiling at her. She carefully placed it in the storage bin and locked the lid. But when she returned from the back room, the bin was open, empty. The mask hung on the wall again, smiling wider. She quit on the spot, leaving the store trembling. The next morning, her manager called. "Nora, did you come back last night? The security cameras show you walking around the store at 3 a.m., wearing that weird white mask." Nora panicked. She had been home asleep. They checked the footage. Every clip showed a figure with Nora's body, but the mask's face. And in the final frame, the figure walked toward the camera, smile splitting unnaturally before the recording cut out. The mask was never found. But every Halloween since, someone reports seeing a woman in a white porcelain mask standing outside the store windows, smiling. If you enjoy true horror stories like this, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button to see more.